Really?
Really? Are
Really?
you trying to ruin this day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Can you hear
When
that?
I tell you, I just tried to log on my iPad and it was Meredith Everly, and I had to type in Melissa probably 12 times before it would actually do. You know what? I sound like my mother right now. Let's move on.
So,
This computer is messing me up.
so the computer's a problem and the iPad, or you got the iPad to work?
No, I'm on my iPad right now.
Okay.
The computer is literally behind it.
Yeah. You're using the computer as a prop for the iPad.
My computer is giving the iPad the security it needs to feel like it can do this role, which it can't do.
Gotcha. It's just the computer is like the man holding the earth, and then the earth is your iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're struggle busing over here with the electronics,
Yeah. Do you think you
which
guys
is,
are very electronically inclined?
oh, I love electronics. I love them. I want a new phone every month. I want a new computer. I want a new everything. I want a desktop. Darren's like, nobody uses a desktop. I was
Nobody.
like, but those desktops that are like really big, the screen's huge, and you can see everything. Darren's like, yeah, no, we don't need that.
No, I don't think anybody's needed that for like a long time.
Oh, I love them. I keep looking at them on eBay, old Apple ones. They
Yeah.
wouldn't even it wouldn't even do anything.
Like the ones we used to have in like computer class, like the
Yeah,
big, like the tube type screens and the
yeah,
big bot. Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm like, I bet you could get on there and like download Netflix on there. And Darren's like, no. I'm
No,
like, it could be like a little TV. And he was like, absolutely not.
you could download like Minesweeper and Solitaire.
Yeah. Amazing. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man.
I see
Yeah.
the flaw in my reasoning. Okay. I see the flaw.
Oh man. Well, needless to say, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes. We've
Ish.
got a pretty, yeah.
Um,
And you're going to go visit Jenna and Devin.
yeah, we're gonna see Jenna and Devin, see our
Yay.
families, um, try to go on some hikes, do all the Washington things.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Have Jenna take Chelsea to all of the consignment stores that she's texting me at every single day.
I'm sure she
I,
will.
I get a text message from Jenna every day that she's at a consignment shop looking at a weird piece of art or like a weird deer that
Yeah.
like the deer's reading a book for some reason, like a little figurine. She's like, "Why do I love this thing?" I could show you screenshots of how many times she said, "Why do I love this weird thing?"
There is like uh out in PA where they're at, there is some pretty cool uh shops like that. Like even the Goodwill is good out there. It's
Yeah,
like a interesting mix of people, like a lot of lumberjacks and then like old people and then like sun people, people with money. So you do get kind of like good stuff at like the donated stores.
well, she's finding it.
Yeah.
She's finding it. It's wild. I think Devin might just explode if she buys more stuff and the house isn't done.
I'm excited to see the house too.
Okay, anyways, today's subject.
Yeah. So you sent me an article about addictive personalities.
Yes, exactly.
And I read,
And you read it.
yeah.
So do you think that that's a real thing or not a real thing?
Sounds like they say that it's not really that you have any person has more of an addictive personality than someone else. There's like, but that people with anxieties and depression and things are more prone to mask those things with something,
Like
whether
some sort of addiction.
it said behavior or addiction. So
Yeah.
for some, it might be drugs or golf
Right.
or
Right.
acting a certain way. So that was kind of interesting.
Okay, so then in general, would you say that, like, I don't think that you do, but you tell me, do you think that you have an addictive personality? Because you hear people say that, right? Have you been around someone and they've said that?
Uh, I don't, I don't know if I've ever been told that. I don't think I do,
I
really.
don't think,
Because like, I have a friend who is like has that personality, and now it's golf right now, and it's like
yeah.
5 days a week golfing. Like, can't
Oh,
stop golf. Like, he's like, I have an addictive personality, and right now it's golf.
on golf.
Yeah. And at
Okay.
other times it's been other things. I don't know that I bounce around thing to thing and then get super obsessed with it per se.
Yeah. You pretty much stay solidly obsessed with one or two things, I feel like, but it's not changing all the time. Like music is a consistent obsession and Oasis.
Oasis, Oasis and Turnstile obsession. So I guess in
Right.
some ways I get obsessed because I'll listen to Turnstile like at nauseum and not get sick of it. But I don't know if that's an obsession or if I just get into like loops.
Okay. A loop would be interesting to see if that's part of it. Because I feel like people nowadays, if they get super into something and they're like getting some kind of serotonin or dopamine hit with it, and they're burning it out, and you're like, oh man, you're like so into this right now. They're like, I've heard people say it a lot lately, or like over the last year. Like, well, I have an addictive personality. I'm like, no, you just like playing games. Like, I don't know what, you know what I mean? Like, is there a difference between somebody that's like you said, like your golf buddy?
Yeah,
Because there's,
I think so. I think it's different because like I like video games, but I don't like play them very much. And like or
yeah,
like I like golf, but if I don't golf, I don't I like things, but it doesn't mean that I obsess over them to where I'm like uh just all in for like a while doing it. So I
right.
guess, yeah.
So whenever I ask Google this question, how many people in the world have an addictive personality? AI overview. So of course now we've got AI chiming in. It
Right.
says, now I thought this was oddly low. Some estimates say that 10 to 15% of the population has an addictive personality. People with addictive personalities may have difficulty stopping and coping with. It mentions a couple different things. They may also have a tendency to take things to extremes, such
Mm.
as buying a lottery ticket on their birthday and then wanting to sell their house to buy 100,000 tickets.
Like impulsive things like
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So then to me, I was like, well, then what are these traits? How would you be able to tell? Okay, so we have a mutual friend. I won't put him on blast on here, but we have a mutual friend.
Um,
It just ends up being Chelsea. Like we both know that it's Chelsea.
it's just we don't want we
We
won't
don't say it. Yeah.
yeah, names
No,
and genders have been changed.
yeah, names have been changed. Okay. So we're always joking about how he has a addictive personality because when we go on vacation, there's a game that involves not really like a betting. Well, I'll just say what it is. The game is horse racing. So
Okay.
it's the game where you sit down and you pay and you toss the ball and the horse goes fast and you see whose horse gets in front, right? So you've got all these people in a line and you're competing with each other, but you're paying to compete with each other.
Okay.
And he has an allotment of money that he spends. And he's like, once that allotment's gone, that's it. Right? Done. And if
Mm-hmm.
he didn't, I think it would be thousands of dollars. It would be
Gotcha.
thousands of dollars. So to me, that's an addictive personality realizing that you have a problem, right? Like some people would be like gambling. Okay, so like that's the house thing, right? Like 1,000. I want to buy 100,000 tickets. I'm going to sell my house. One of them will make me $5 million, whatever.
Right.
Right. That's like the thrill, though. So I
Yeah.
see the aspect of the thrill, right?
Yeah. But I don't know that I think I think I think this friend of ours, I'll edit that out.
Still edit. Oh my God. You have to edit out. Be like,
That's I'm countering
yeah.
her argument right now. I don't
Okay.
know I don't know that because he uh I think of a recklessness with addictive personalities, or not a recklessness, but like an
Okay.
inability to manage, where
Okay.
our mutual friend puts like backstops in place, and he
Okay.
recognizes these things about himself. So he might have the tendency to want to, like a desire to go overboard, but he never would allow himself. So then I don't know that I would call that an addictive personality as much as like, I don't know what I call that, indulgent.
Control over your addiction.
Yeah, like he has too much control over that to then.
Okay. For it to be like a vice.
I'm trying to think of like how Seth is with surfing, because dang it, I'm trying to think of how this friend is with surfing, because they really like to surf. They surf a lot, but I don't think it like
Okay.
overshadows other things. I think an addictive personality
Okay. So
person
then,
will like put that thing above other things.
okay. So then let's transfer from to
Okay.
and surfing. Now go. Does that trump other things?
I don't know that I would call what how he does things addictive personality, because there's a consistency to it. Like he likes to surf, or he likes to run, or he likes to.
So it's always, it's like, it's kind of like an always there. It's not a difference.
It's not like if he was like I started running and we were all like, here we go. He's
Okay.
gonna be
Okay.
obsessed with running for 6 months and tell everyone else to run, and then he'll move on to something else and not run again. Where
Okay.
he pretty much consistently does the same things, kind of always
Okay.
has.
True.
So that's
That's
not addictive personality. That's just maybe like um, a hobby.
okay. A hobby. Okay. So then let me read you the, these are the things that they say can tell you if you have an addictive personality.
All right.
Traits. These are the traits.
Okay.
Number one, impulsive behavior. And now there's clarification on this. I'm not going to tell you the website because it's so funny,
So like Cosmo.
but it's Vogue.
Vogue.
Vogue. No, but it does have rehab in the name. So, we get what we're dealing with here. We get what we're dealing with.
What in the name?
Rehab. It has rehab in the name.
Okay.
So, they're kind of taking it to another level. But I feel like I've heard people say, I have a very addictive personality, that are not addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything that's actually harmful to them. They've been like, I have an addictive personality. So I'm just curious, like what, yeah, that's what piques my curiosity.
Yeah.
So here's the traits.
Okay.
One, impulsive behavior.
Okay.
Two, sensation seeking.
Sensation seeking.
Would you like me to read an in-depth
Yeah.
paragraph? A secondary personality trait that may be indicative of someone with an addictive personality is sensation seeking. This means a person is constantly seeking out new experiences, new flavors, new travel locations, or new sources of adrenaline rush, such as extreme sports.
Mm,
They also might want to try some psychoactive drugs.
gotcha.
This constant, yep, This constant desire for new experience can lead to more experimentation. And then it proceeds. But that's basically what it's saying. So you are seeking an adrenaline rush sensation.
So you combine that
Now,
with being impulsive, and now you're
yeah. Now, this one I thought was interesting. Valuing non-conformity. Now, that to me seems like, but not. Are you with me with the names?
Mhm. Yeah. You have
Okay.
on that. Yeah.
Okay, so placing a high value on nonconformity can contribute to having an addictive personality. When combined with the achievement goals valued by society, this personality trait can lead to greater chance of addiction. So you're just constantly like, no, I'm doing my own thing. Even if they tell me I shouldn't, I'm still going to do it with impulsivity, right? Social alienation is next. Compulsive behavior. So those are the traits. So if you have those traits and you're listening, you're donezo.
Just pack it up.
Put the white padded outfit on.
Yeah. Just
Call 911.
check yourself in. Let them
Yeah,
know.
check yourself in. You're fine. You're going to be fine. You're not fine, but you will. We'll
Yeah.
get through this.
We'll get through it together.
Right.
We'll keep
Right.
you afloat.
We'll help you. We'll help you.
Okay.
In fact, I think we need to make some merchandise that's a hoodie. And on the front, it's a float and our logo. And on the back, it says, I'm addicted to, and then a line. It's just like,
that's actually not the worst idea. Oh man. We always said we were gonna do merch at a year, and here we are.
we're there.
So
We're there.
we're working on that.
We need to have people chime in. We'll
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that later.
Okay, so going back to this, do you think you have a addictive personality?
I think because I have ADD, I will buy a bunch of stuff that's for a new hobby and go all in.
So that overlaps because we've listened to
Yeah.
podcasts about ADHD and what they do, and they
Yeah.
are impulsive, but so it kind of overlaps with an addictive personality, but it's not indicative that you have an addictive personality.
Right. Right. So I'm not sure because sometimes I'm like, yeah, I am. I could see myself having that where you are a little, I am a little compulsive. I am a little impulsive, but I don't necessarily value nonconformity. I do like finding new exciting things, but I think I recognize it as being something I can find to give me dopamine or something, you know?
So then when you say you'll buy all the stuff, like what's an example of something you went like all in on and got the stuff for it?
Like I went through a phase where I was like, I'm gonna just start making my own jewelry. But it was like jewelry that was like really, really Lisa Frank inspired. So it wasn't actually gonna make any money. It would be like for basically like children that don't even know what Lisa Frank is anymore. But like I liked it. So I bought a bunch of beads and a bunch of letters and then like made these necklaces, right? And they would like say stuff on them.
Yeah.
Mine said, is there something in my teeth? Question mark. Because that's something my dad always says.
Yeah.
Jenna made one that says, you can kiss me if you want, which is that weird lady on Instagram that's like the super creep at a party. And she's like walking around and keeps asking people that. And Jenna went through this phase where she just kept saying it. She'd like walk up to me real close and be like, you can kiss me if you want. And I was like, all right. So that's hers. But I had a bunch and like people started asking me for them and like wanted them and I'd make them for them, but like I never like made them. I did the exact same thing with starting a store on Etsy like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but
I was
that
yeah,
sounds more like ADHD. That's like starting things and not following through
Yes, you're right. You're right.
more than an addictive personality would get obsessed with making jewelry, spend
And
all
then
the time making jewelry, do it for a long time, and then find pickleball or something, and then stop doing jewelry, and then be obsessed with pickleball or obsessed with
so
something else.
like I would sell my like I have a white Land Rover, let's say. And I like sell my white Land Rover to get beads from a super rare store when I've only like when it doesn't matter how much money I'm making. I'm like, I just need to make these like I've got to make these bracelets.
That's probably both. That's probably someone with ADD and an addictive personality. Like those are extremes. Like
Also, isn't it a touch of wishful thinking? Like if I had a white Range Rover, that would be like, you know what? That's gross.
I don't think
I'm gonna get canceled for saying that.
I don't think that's wishful thinking. I think that's delusion.
That's no Salulu to the Delulu.
Yeah. But there is,
Yeah,
but they would then hear a story where like someone did that and it worked out. And then
yes,
that's why they did it because they, and then you'd be like, that's crazy.
but
And
it
then,
worked.
but it worked for someone and then they think it. And then the worst thing is if it works for, if their crazy notion works and then you're like, that was a horrible
I'm
idea, but it worked. And then
yeah.
they'll, yeah,
Oh, they'll convince everybody. That's another thing I feel like about like if you watch the real life stories of like YouTube celebrities, like you just specifically like YouTube, they are so wild and will like live in their car for 2 years to get
yeah,
famous on YouTube. That's obviously just extremely ambitious to become famous.
yeah.
But that's kind of like an example of what you're saying. Like then they tell people like I just made up my mind. I moved to LA. I lived in my car. I ate french fries every day. And then you got these teenagers that are like I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then they're like broke on the street somewhere.
But that's the one that made it and they have a voice. There's 100 others that didn't,
Yeah.
fizzled out and went back to Omaha or
Oh,
Des Moines, Iowa. And you don't hear their stories. So then people are like, oh, this works. You just do this. This happens,
and
and then you're famous.
do you guys ever listen to that person on this is really going to tell I told Darren recently, I'm like, the way that you are on social media lately is such a tell for what age you are. And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you're on Facebook Marketplace. And then you're on Facebook listening to a guy or a woman tell horror stories about bridesmaids, or they're giving financial advice. Like the other night, Darren did not come inside for at least 10 minutes. And when he finally came in, he's like, you got to hear this story. And I was like, about what? He's like, this guy, he invited his ex to his wedding. Little did he know, his ex knew that she cheated on him. And he gave a speech about how she was a great friend. Then he outed her in front of all his family. Like, just these wild
Oh,
stories.
man.
No, but he's been listening to him for like weeks.
So
Like,
what does that say about his age? That that's what he's in.
like you're not on your Instagram popular page, you're not scrolling through TikTok.
Oh,
It
gotcha.
definitely says that like you are in your 40s, like late headed to late 40s. You like Facebook, you started to be on Facebook more. Like Facebook's like the definitely the old people of social media.
Yeah.
Instagram's like middle ground. TikTok is like young and then wannabes. And then I feel like Be Real is like super, super young, but like no one really cares about it a lot quite yet, but they like kind of do.
I
So,
feel
anyways,
like Instagram's kind of the uniter.
yeah, Instagram is the uniter.
And then
Yeah, middle.
when people are like, I don't have Instagram, you can almost guarantee that their YouTube algorithm is like giving them like as many videos as everyone's like Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely happening. I
Which
just never
YouTube has
I've,
me pegged pretty good.
like I've never even really been on YouTube where it sends an algorithm.
Yeah. Once you get into
How
that,
does
it's just scrolling like all the others. You're just zipping through
on
videos.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Like
Shorts.
what is your YouTube history?
My YouTube history is like lots of baseball, like sports, mostly stand-up comedy. Um, yeah, it's all stand-up comedy, pretty much. Yep.
Okay. So
Stand-up,
then it tells
stand-up, stand.
more.
Huh?
So then it tells you more stand-up comedians it thinks that you're gonna like.
It's like YouTube or it's like Instagram where it's like I watch a lot of stand-up clips, so then it just keeps pumping me full of like it'll be like stand-up clips or it'll be like comedians talking on a podcast about something funny. And
Oh, okay.
and then it's like baseball, soccer, Oasis,
Okay.
Turnstile.
That's exactly what's happening with Darren's,
Yeah.
except his is just people reading people on Reddit. They're not talking to anyone.
He's
Darren's
reading
addicted.
comments. Like he's watching videos of people reading comments.
Okay, so it would be literally like this. It's like this. I don't know if I am the mean one or not. My mom called me and she said she wanted to come to my wedding. Keep in mind, my mom's never been very supportive of our relationship. And then it's like, blah, blah, blah. And Darren's like, and I'm like, dude, are you good? That's what I'm
I think I
saying.
know what you're talking about now. I've seen like on Twitter sometimes I'll see them like come through where it's someone telling a story of something that happened to them and they put it on
Yeah.
Reddit.
And they're upset about it. And they want to know, like, one of them is like, are you the
Oh yeah.
butthole? Right.
Yeah.
So Darren's like watching these and he's like addicted. So that's what I'm saying about addiction too. That Darren's addiction right now is getting on to this thing where he's obsessed with listening to other people's life weird stories.
Gotcha. I get that to a degree because I listen to Armchair Anonymous, which is Fridays on Dax's podcast,
Oh
where
boy.
they have like prompts like
Yeah.
dad stories or travel stories or
Yes.
times you pooped your pants, and then they'll have people call in and tell their stories.
Yes.
And
That's
it's
exactly what it's like.
super funny. The hard thing with like Reddit and those is it's so easy to just make up a story
Yeah.
and you're just reading a story that probably never happened.
Yeah. Well, and I think because some people, like, when you read that kind of stuff, you get so involved and
Yeah.
it really shouldn't be affecting you that much. Right. It'll be like thousands of people
Yeah.
weighing in. It'll be like, well, the fact that Julie didn't say what her plans were, she just said plans. That's odd. And you're like, that's funny. What does that matter? And then it's like, oh, Julie just updated the chat. Julie's told us what her plans actually were. She really did have plans. And everybody's like, oh, okay, then we believe Julie. Like, it's very interesting.
It's almost like you're part of a friend group with a lot of drama, but
Yeah.
you're like
Yes.
separate
You
from it.
don't know them. You
You
don't
don't have
know
to like
them.
deal with it every day. You can dip in and dip out whenever you want.
Yes. And I think that's Darren's new little dipperoo. He just likes to dip in. Just dip.
Yeah, I don't think that's addictive personality. I think that's just entertainment.
You feel like also it could be just zoning out, like after the day.
Yeah, I zone out on Instagram and Twitter like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chelsea, do
You
I
do that?
lots of Instagram and Twitter for me? Like a zone out? She
On
oh, all the time, every day.
Oh,
Do I have an
but
addiction?
you're right. But you're right. I don't view that as an addictive personality.
She's thinking. She doesn't know.
But like, I wouldn't view that as an addictive personality. I think you're right. It's not that I'm like, he's addictive or he has an addictive personality. I don't even really feel, I don't even think has a bona fide addictive personality. I'm just giving examples of people that I know like things immense, like so much. And then we've
Yeah.
joked about, right? We've joked and been like, oh, look out, you're addicted. But
Yeah.
it's a real thing. And I thought it would be way more of a percentage. And when I looked that up on Google and it was like 10 to 15%, that's not very much.
I think that
It,
that sounds about right from like actually just having an addictive personality or like an overindulgent personality. But I think in your head, it can seem like it should be higher because of how many people are just like shot and like um,
yeah,
are on their phone all the time or just finding
yeah,
some sort of relief from craziness. And then it
yeah,
seems like there's way more people that are like truly going through like an addictive stretch of things when it's really them just like trying to like get some sense of calm in their life
yeah, that's
or
probably
something
true.
like that. Or an escape.
Yeah. An escape, probably. Yeah. And that's what you're doing when you're on Twitter. You're just escaping into the Twitter world.
Yeah, just
Who
dip.
do you who do you read on Twitter? Are we talking like Elon Musk tweets? Are you reading comedians' tweets?
No, I don't follow comedy on Twitter or like friends. It's more like journalists, whatever's left of journalists, like
Yeah.
social commentary, and then like just like news stations, like
Okay.
actual like CNN or Al Jazeera or something like that.
Okay. I gotcha.
I
Okay.
don't need
Speaking.
like a lot of opinion. I want to just know what's going on, and that's what's hard about even like regular news stations. It's just you just want to know what's
What's up?
going on, and that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of Twitter, and I'll give you another example that I forgot about. So I got on Twitter because of this. This is a couple years ago. This is during COVID, so everybody had a lot of time on their hands. So I read this article about this guy who you probably have heard about it. He made an NFT and he sold it for like $15 million, something crazy.
The sad ape one,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. So I started looking into it and looking into it. And then it was like, I'm just gonna make one. I'm just gonna make one and see what happens. So I read about it and then I just like made like 10 of them, like my own style of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's not, it's actually depending on what you want to do. Anyways, I'm not going to say whether it is or is not this, but I'm moving on. The point is, I'm like, I'm going to make it. So you make it. Then they're like, if you want to sell your NFT, put it on Twitter. Like, just start blasting Twitter with your NFTs. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I get on Twitter and I'm like blasting these NFTs. Well, then they're like, you need to have a wallet with like Bitcoin in it. I'm like, okay. So then I started reading about Bitcoin and then like bought Bitcoin. Then I'm like selling it and then I'm using it. And then I'm like, I'm going to sell this NFT not for money. I'm going to sell it for Bitcoin. So
Mm-hmm.
then I start reading how to buy and sell art with Bitcoin. And then about 6 weeks into this, I deleted everything. I was like, I don't care about this.
That's
Like, that's kind of weird.
you went real deep and then just cut it off.
Oh, I was like, this is so boring. I hate this. It's so dumb. And I just was like, deleted my wallet. Like, I still will get WhatsApp text messages that's like, do you still want to be in this NFT? Like OG wanting to like have a first look. That I just block them all. Just like
Yeah.
delete. No.
Do you think that's do you think that's
I don't know if
generational?
it's the ADD. I don't know if it's the ADD or if it's like an addictive personality thing.
But there's a big contingent of people who are older, not that I don't mean like older, like we didn't grow up with crypto and stuff like that. So it doesn't
Yeah.
really make much sense to us. So we see people,
Yeah.
you'll see people who make like millions of dollars because they bought this fake
Yes.
cryptocurrency at one point, but it just doesn't make any sense because it's just so weird to us.
Yeah.
And then it'll just
Yeah.
fall apart at any moment. You just feel like it'll just fall out, but then it doesn't. Some
Oh,
don't.
I think that could be a whole other podcast. We got to have um Tab on to talk about Bitcoin.
Is he a crypto king?
Oh, he could talk about it for hours and hours and hours and hours.
All right. We'll do like crypto. He'll be like our because we have like the boys is like our movie reviewers.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeremy's like our
Tab is so
Jeremy's
guy.
like sports and lifestyle.
Sports and lifestyle.
Tab can be our finance guy.
Ooh, that's what we really need.
Lee's
We
got
need
the
to have
tea.
we need to have tea with Leon again
Yeah.
because we're going to be
Lindsay's
starting our new year.
yeah,
And
Lindsay's our
I,
medical expert.
who, by the way, has a 3-week-old child now.
Billy,
Yes, Billy. She's here.
pretty cute.
Yeah, she's ready to rock.
Really? Billy's right there?
No, not here at my
Oh,
house.
gotcha.
Yeah, but we did see her this past weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's cute. She sleeps all the time. That's all she does is just sleeping.
Oh man.
She's sleeping. She's a cutie.
Pretty cute pictures on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting into uh year 2 of a float.
Yeah, year 2 of a float.
That's pretty
And
wild.
I think we decided, well, I think there's a couple of things I think we could do or change, but I'll send not really change. But there's a couple of things I think after listening to a couple episodes going into this next season that I'm like, you know what? We could bring it a little harder with this or this.
Tighten it up. Tighten it up a little bit.
We could tighten it up.
Yeah. Just tune it up a
Tune
little
it
bit.
right, tune it right in.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, I got to get Jenna's password so I can use a computer and not
Yeah.
casual things of
Yeah.
a podcaster. And you need to mention where we are found now. Going into season 2, now we're all over. We're all
Going
over.
into season 2, we're in YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Professionalism is about to come in ramping hot.
Year 2, real season 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a rough plan for merch.
Yep.
We've got a busy summer. What do you have going this summer? What else do you have going this summer?
We're about to go camping in a little bluegrass thing this weekend. It's just right here.
Yeah.
Just close. And then we want to go visit Jenna and Devin too. I'm super jealous you're gonna go up there. That'll be so fun.
Yeah.
But I want to go visit when we can actually like stay in a home.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get my parents' passports done so they can go to Costa Rica.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's been really cute.
Cool. And then obviously coming and seeing us too, right?
Yeah, yeah, we need to come up there.
Yeah. We're gonna do.
I'm not kidding. Literally, we can just pick a weekend.
Yeah.
That's what I've been telling Darren lately. I'm like, instead of saying to people, "Oh, I want to see you," if there's nothing in the calendar on a certain day, just put it in the calendar. And when the time comes, it's shocking how many things you can actually do that are a little bit far, a little bit of a struggle. You just do it because it's in the calendar.
So we just did that because we were gonna go camping in the Adirondacks.
Yeah.
We told you about that. And then the weather was just awful. It was gonna rain like an inch that Saturday. So we called Jason and Carrie in Maine on a Thursday night. We were like, we're supposed to go camping in the morning and the weather's awful. Can we come to your house? And they were like, yeah. So we just drove to Maine. The 4 of us, me and Chelsea and Jeremy and Sam, drove to Maine and hung out with Carrie for the weekend. So
in Maine, right? That's like, I love it. I want to go there so bad. My mom is dying to go there.
Yeah, you'd like it. It's really cool. So then we're gone for 2 weeks in Seattle. Get home. We have your work and LDC stuff, and then we go to Maine, back up there for a week.
Okay, gotcha. So then maybe we do need to take a little breather.
Really want to, I feel like got it, kind of want to keep it going, but maybe take it a little easy and not put pressure on ourselves for the summer because of how busy
Okay,
we are.
cool.
Make it like do like summer break edition of Float
Yeah.
where we just pop in a couple episodes and then
Is there
September hardcore.
is there a is there a save it for the pod sweatshirt? There's not. That's shocking.
We can do a needless to say.
Oh, save it for the pod shirt.
Mm.
Shoot.
You like that? Needless to say.
Oh yeah, no. I like needless to say better actually.
Cool.
Needless to say on the front and then on the back. We have a lot to talk about.
Or just
Or,
needless to say,
or
like
just needless to say.
just like the Afloat brand, and then say needless to say
Okay. I also love the idea
because
of,
it's needless to say.
do I need to explain it? It's needless to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 You also should have one that says yeah.
Yeah. Just like
I would
me
love to
with
have
my
like,
mouth open, just says yeah.
yeah. Just an AI version of you being like,
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll just call it yeah.
yeah. The yeah.
Oh, man.
We've got ideas.
We've got ideas. We're moving into a whole new horizon.
All right, you got a lot of editing to do. You got to wrap
Yeah.
it up.
What do you got for a song?
Okay, so for Songy Wongies, I have got a wild little song. It is a cover. It's Be Quiet and Drive, but it's being done by Health. Health. And it's kind of like an electronic version
Okay.
of Be Quiet and Drive.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm loving it. Let me tell you what I am loving it. Sick. And that's it. That's the only one I got.
Okay. I'll just do one too. And it was the only one that I wanted to do. And it's from the Deftones, so that's perfect.
Oh my gosh. We're floating through light.
There's a song on, I don't know if it's their newest album, the album Ohms.
Ohms. What?
This just make sure it's
Spell that.
OHMS. It's their latest album, 2020. It looks like that.
2020. 2020.
And the last song is the self-titled song from the album called Ohms. And it
Okay.
might be my favorite Deftones song, even though I've listened
Okay.
to Deftones for 25 years. It's really good.
Okay, I've got it. I'm going to listen as soon as we are done.
All right. Well, then let's be done.
Well, it must be done.
Must be
And
done.
I'm so happy it is.
All right.
Okay.
Dinner.
Peace out.
Bye.